Welcome to another tutorial. I'm Atenas and this is Mode Bespoke. Today we're going to be working on the Regina hat. So let's get started. So we're going to begin with a slip knot and then we're going to make a chain. Now you can make a chain of 80 if you're going to make a small adult hat, or a chain of 90 if you want to make a slightly larger adult hat. So to make the chain, you just yarn over and you're going to pull this top loop through this bottom loop. So there's one, and then yarn over, pull through. So continue to chain until you've crocheted either 80 or 90 stitches. Once your chain is complete, we have to close the round. So to do this, just go through the chain that you just made and make sure that all of your stitches are facing the same direction. That way your chain isn't all twisted up. So go through, make sure everything's in the same direction until you get to this last stitch. And in this last stitch, we're going to insert our hook and we're going to close the round. So insert your hook into that very first stitch of the chain. And then we're going to treat this as a single crochet. So we have our 2 loops on the hook, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So now we have to chain 2. So there's 1, and then 2. Let me get this in order here. So we're going to begin the very first stitch, and this is going to be our foundation row. So you see this where we started our chain? We're going to work in the stitch right next to it, so the one right after. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, doesn't matter, just work on the stitch right after that chain that we did. And we're going to work this row in double crochets, so you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. You're going to be left with 3 loops on your hook. So now you're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through 2. So these first 2. And then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. So we're going to repeat this in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So continue to double crochet in every one of the stitches of the round, and I will see you when we finish. Alright, so we've made it all the way around, and now we have this one last stitch right down here. So we're going to make 1 last double crochet. There we go. And we've made it all the way around. So for this next part, we are going to skip this chain. This chain is going to become part of the cable. So it's going to be part of the very last cable of the row. It's going to be one of the 6 stitches that we need. So beginning on that very first double crochet right after your chain, we need to begin with a back post double crochet. So we have to yarn over, and then we're going to insert the hook behind our work, so towards the front of the stitch, and then we're going to push down on that post. So push back on it and insert your hook on the other side. And then you yarn over and pull your hook out. So you're going to be left with your 3 loops, and now all you do is just yarn over and pull through the first 2, and then yarn over again and pull through the second 2. So that was a back post double crochet. The next 2 stitches we're going to crochet as front post double crochets. So we're going to push these posts toward the front so that they pop out a bit. So yarn over, insert your hook behind the post. So you're going to push the post forward, and you're only going to go through the first one. So here's that post. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we just close the stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to repeat the same thing in the next stitch. So we're going to complete a front post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook behind the post and push it forward. So see, it's above our hook. And then yarn over and pull up a loop. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have back post double crochet and then 2 front post double crochets so far. The next one is a back post double crochet. So yarn over, and you're going to insert your hook behind your work and up toward the front of the stitch. And you're going to push the stitch backward. So this is our post, push it back and pull your hook out through the other side. So see, our post is going to be behind our hook. So now you yarn over and pull up a loop, and then just yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So this is the section we've just completed. And now for the cable, this is going to be a 6-stitch cable. So for the first part, we're going to skip the first 3 stitches. So skip these 3 and work into the next 3 stitches, because each side of our cable has 3 stitches. So going into that second set of 3, we're going to work a front post triple crochet, and this is a US triple crochet. So you yarn over twice, and you're going to insert your hook behind the post and push it forward, and then yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 4 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through 2. So yarn over, and then look, we pull through 1 and 2, and then yarn over again and pull through 2, and yarn over one last time and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And that is a front post triple crochet. We're going to do the next 2 stitches also as front post triple crochets. So yarn over twice, insert your hook behind the post and push it forward, and then you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and finally yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. We have one last front post triple crochet, so I'll crochet this one really quickly, and then we're going to get to the interesting part. So this part might seem a little complicated, but just hang in there. So we're going to go to these 3 skipped stitches. Now we need to crochet them also as front post triple crochets, but they have to slide behind the triple crochets we just made. So they have to go under and behind them. So the easiest way I found to do this is to just push on the 3 skipped stitches and pull them towards the back. These front ones that we just did, just pull them down. So then you'll have a clear view of the 3 double crochets that we skipped, and these are the ones we have to work into. So just like we did in the stitches that we just finished, so the first set of 3, we have to work front post triple crochets in each of these. So start with a yarn over, pull through 2, and then go to the first of the 3 stitches, so the one closest to your hook, and complete your front post triple crochet. So see, we have our 4 loops, and then we just close the stitch, and then we go to the next stitch, which is right here. This is a lot easier to see when you have this work in front of you, I promise. So we just yarn over twice, and then work your front post triple crochet. So we pulled up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then we work the very last triple crochet. And there we go. And now all I regularly do now is just pull on these front stitches. So these right there. If you follow the stitches here up at the top, it's a lot easier to identify where those front stitches are. But once you find them, just pull them back up and then push on the stitches you just crocheted. Just push them a little bit forward, and then you'll have all 6 of your stitches clearly visible. So it's 5 and 6. So are all 6 stitches of our cable. Next, we're going to follow it up with this section that we just did earlier. So the first 4 stitches that we did at the beginning of the row. So we begin the first one with the back post, the next 2 are a front post, and then we have another back post. And then you work another cable, and then back post to front post, back post, and then another cable. So that's all you have to repeat over and over. So we'll do this one again together. So we begin with a back post double crochet. And this one you just yarn over once. This is a double crochet. So we're going to push our post back. So see, you can see your hook in front of our stitch, or in front of the post, and then we close the stitch. The next 2 stitches are front post double crochets. So there's 1, and then 2, and then we have a back post double crochet. So it's this guy right here. So yarn over, insert your hook towards the front of the stitch, push the post back, and then close your stitch. And now we are back to a cable. So the cable is a 6-stitch cable. So we're going to skip the first 3 stitches and work into that 4th stitch. So we front post triple crochet in that post. So remember to yarn over twice at the beginning of the stitch. And then in stitch number 5, which is this one right next to the one we just worked, we work another front post triple crochet. And then one last front post triple crochet on that last stitch. There we go. And now we have to work those skipped stitches. So they're right here. So remember to just push those back and pull these front stitches towards the bottom. And that way they'll be out of your way, and it'll be a lot easier to see your 3 skipped stitches. So these are also worked as triple crochets, and they will be front post. So yarn over twice and then work a front post triple crochet. So insert your hook behind the post, push the post forward, and then complete your stitch. So here's the second one. And then here's the third. And there you go. So just pull on the front stitches, just pull these back, and push the stitches we just crocheted towards the front, so you have all 6 stitches visible. And then we're just going to repeat. So back post to front post, so forth. So here, I'll show you here where we're at. So we just finished a cable, so we're right here. So complete a back post, and then 2 front posts, back post, and then another cable. And then just repeat, back to front, 1 back, and then cable. So go all the way around, and I will see you when we get to the end of the round. So I've worked my way almost completely to the end of the round. So I've already done the second to last cable, and then I did the front, the 2 back, the 2 front, the back, and now I'm at the last cable of the row. So you should be left with 5 double crochets. So the 6th stitch for our cable is going to be the chain. So it's the beginning chain 2 that we did, that we skipped at the very beginning of the last row. We're going to use this as the last stitch of the cable. So that's going to be stitch number 6. So we're going to begin with our triple crochets. So skip the first 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th, and work your very first front post triple crochet. and then go to that second stitch, and you're going to work another front post triple crochet. And then on this chain stitch, that's where we're going to work the very last triple crochet. So we yarn over twice, insert our hook behind the chain, so that's that chain 2, and then we complete our triple crochet. And this is just going to make continuous cables all the way around, so you won't be able to tell where the row or where the round begins and where it ends. So let me get a little bit more yarn. And here we go. We have the last 3 stitches, the ones that we skipped. We still have to work those. So let me move everything out of the way. I'm going to zoom out a bit so to see if maybe that helps everyone be able to see the different angles. But remember to push back on the 3 skipped stitches. That way we have clear access to them. So we work our front post triple crochets into each of these stitches. So I'm just going to work quickly through these since we've already seen these a few times. And this just takes a little bit of practice. So if you don't get it the first time, don't stress it. Just keep trying. It does get a lot easier. All right. So once we've got those 3 done, just pull up on that front part. Push those back stitches towards the front so you have all 6 stitches nice and visible. There you go. And we're ready for the next round. So we're going to begin this next round with that very first back post double crochet. And we're going to crochet double crochets for this entire round. So beginning on the first one, this is a back post double crochet, and we're just going to extend that over one. So this next stitch is also going to be a back post double crochet. So we yarn over and we push the post back and then complete our double crochet. The next 2 stitches are front post double crochets. So we do the first one and then we work the second one. We follow that with a back post double crochet, so it's right back here. And then we get to our cable. Now the cable we're going to work in double crochets for all 6 stitches. So we're going to begin with these top triple crochets. So we're going to crochet those first, and then we will crochet the ones in the back. So we start with these because they're closest to our hook, and that's basically going to extend the cable. So we're going to add a little bit of height to it. So we just did the crossover, and now we're going to extend. So all odd numbered rows, you cross over. All even numbered rows, you're going to extend the cable. So crossover on, what is that, row 3, extend on row 4, crossover on 5, and so forth until you reach the height that you want for your hat. So since this is row 2, we have to extend the cable. So we're going to begin on this very first stitch. So go to the one that's closest to your hook, and you're going to work a front post double crochet into it. So yarn over once and then pull up that post, and then we complete our double crochet. We're going to go into the second stitch and we're going to crochet a front post double crochet. So we're only going to yarn over once. And then we do the same on that last stitch. And there we go. So now just like we did in the previous row, it's a lot easier to see the stitches back here if you just push the top ones towards the front. So you can insert your finger right here and you can see all 3 of the front stitches, and then you can see the 3 of the back stitches. So just to make this a little easier, just push down on the top stitches and pull the ones in the back, just pull them up. So you'll be able to access them a little bit easier, or a little more easily, I should say. So just yarn over and pull up on that first stitch to make a front post. It is a front post double crochet, and then we front post double crochet in the second stitch and front post double crochet in the third. And now you just grab a little more yarn here. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to pull up on those front stitches that we did. There we go. Put all our stitches nice and neat, and there we go. So we've extended our cable a little bit. And now we just do the back post, and then the 2 front posts, and that back post. So here's the back one. and then the first front, second front, back post, and we've arrived at the next cable. So let me zoom in for this one so you can see a little bit closer. So here are the 3 top stitches. These are the ones we have to work first. So we begin our very first front post double crochet on the first stitch, and that's going to be the one closest to your hook. So just pull up on the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then finish your double crochet. There you go. And then we repeat on the second one. And the reason that these are double crochets and not triple crochets is to keep the height of the cable the same as the double crochets that are next to it. So the same as the front and back posts that we're working. Otherwise, it'll start to make the cable a little bit pointy and it's going to stick up a little bit higher. So since we still have to do the ribbing at the bottom, it's going to make the hat look a little bit funny. So that's why we work these as double crochets instead. There we go. So you've worked the front ones, and now we have to work the back 3 stitches of that cable. So here are the front ones. Here the back ones are right back here. Pull on the front ones, just pull them down or out of the way, however you can move them, and pull up on those back stitches so that you can see all 3 of those back stitches of the cable, and then you work a front post double crochet into each of those stitches. So if at any point in this video you've gotten a little bit confused, you can check out the written pattern. So I'll put the link down in the description box below. Alright, so once you've crocheted all of your cable stitches, just move those front stitches a little bit forward, and then you'll be ready to move on. So I'm just going to continue the round, and then I'll see you here at the end. So round 3 is just a repetition of round 1. So we're going to work on this together just so you can get the experience. But this is just a repetition of round 1. So when we get to this cable, remember to skip the first 3 stitches, and then we're going to work on the second set of 3. So what we're going to do is pull these 3 front stitches behind the last 3 stitches. So skip these 3. Go to stitch number 4, and for this round you're going to work in triple crochet. So yarn over twice and go to stitch number 4 of the cable, and you're going to crochet a front post triple crochet. So pull the post up toward the front of your work and then finish your triple crochet. You're going to repeat your front post triple crochet in the next 2 stitches. And there you go. Now we have to go back to the 3 skipped stitches, which are these in the front, and we're going to have to pull them up and behind the 3 stitches that we just finished. So pull these 3 stitches, you're going to fold them down so that you have access to those bottom 3, and you're going to work a front post triple crochet into each one of those 3 stitches. So here's the first one. Insert your hook behind the post to pull it forward, and then triple crochet. And then repeat in the next 2 stitches. And once you are done, you're going to pull on this front part of the stitch, so just follow this chain along and pull this part back. And if you use your fingers, you can push on this back part, just push it forward, and it'll make those stitches pop up toward the front. And there you go. So then continuing on, the next few stitches are going to be that back post, and then the 2 front posts, and then the back post. So I'll start working on this one. Just continue to repeat this same pattern. So work your cable, make sure that you work your triple crochets, and then repeat until you have completed the round. for the fourth round, once you've completely worked your way around, here's what our cable looks like so far. So this is going to be an extension round. So when you work the cable stitches, you're going to be working a double crochet, and you're going to work the ones that are in front first. Then you're going to work the 3 stitches in the back. So we're going to work our first front post double crochet on the first of the 3 stitches on the top, and then we'll repeat here on the second one. Make sure you grab your entire stitch though. There we go. And then on the third one. And there we go. So now we move on to the stitches in the back. So just move these top stitches out of the way so you have access to these back ones, and then work your front post double crochets in these stitches. So there's the first one, and then we work on the second one, and then you work on the third one. So this is just a repetition of round 2. So from here on out, you just repeat round 1 and round 2 until you complete the height that you want for your hat. So here, let me pull my hook out a little bit. So as you can see now, you can start to see the cable. So this is what it's going to look like after you've completed a few repetitions of round 1 and round 2. You're going to complete as many repetitions as you want because this is your hat. Make it as high as you want. So if you want a brim as well, make space for the brim. So don't use up all of your hat height with just this pattern unless you really don't want a brim or you want a really tiny one. But just go around several times, repeat row 1 and row 2, and then we're going to complete the brim here at the end. Once we complete the brim, we're going to go to this top part, which is the bottom part of the hat right now, and then we're going to cinch it. So let's move on to the ribbing. So now for the ribbing, once you have completed the hat height that you want, you can switch color at this point if you want to, or you can continue to work in the same color. I'm going to switch to gray, but for those of you that are just continuing, just leave your hook the way it is, and then we're going to work a front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet, front post, back post, all the way around. For those of you that are switching colors, work the front two, the front post double crochets. So the last 2 front post double crochets that you're going to work on your pattern. And for this first back post double crochet for the next round, we're going to switch color. So when you work that first back post double crochet of the row, we just begin with your yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and when you have your 3 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. You're going to be left with 2 loops on your hook, and this is when you switch color. So leave a nice long tail end of your second color yarn. You're going to make a loop around your hook, and you're going to pull that gray loop through your 2 lavender loops, or whatever colors you're using. There you go. And you've closed your double crochet and switched colors. So now the rest of the round, we're going to begin with a front post double crochet, and then you're going to alternate. So front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, and so forth all the way around. So I'll do the first few stitches with you. So since we just finished with a back post double crochet, this next one is going to be worked as a front post. And the ribbing is worked entirely in double crochets. So there's the first one, and that was a front post. The next one is a back post. And then the one after that is a front post. And then you work a back post. And then front post. And back post. And then you just continue. So I'll keep working and see you at the end of the round. So once you've completed your round, we're here at that first stitch again. You're going to work that as a back post. So the stitch we just completed is a front post. So this next one is going to be a back post double crochet. And basically what you're doing is just extending the stitch that's already there. So you're going to work the same stitch as you did in the previous round. So this next stitch is a front post. So this round you're going to complete a front post double crochet. The next one is a back post. So you work a back post double crochet. The next one is a front post, so you work a front post double crochet. So you're just repeating the exact same stitch you did in the previous round. So that this is going to extend the brim and it's going to make it nice and stretchy. So just repeat this, the same pattern on as many rounds as you want to make the width of your brim. So if you want a really narrow brim, just work a few rounds. If you want a really wide brim, just work a few more rounds. So if you get to this point, so here's a little bit of troubleshooting. If you worked your way around the first round of the brim and you're beginning your second round and you've realized that you can't continue crocheting because you don't have enough stitches or you have too many stitches. So here, let me show you what I mean. Let me just pull out some of these stitches real quick and show you. So you worked your first round and then this first stitch is a back post. If you realize that the stitch right next to that is also a back post double crochet, so you have two back post double crochets side by side. Don't stress it. You don't need to unravel all of your work. Here's how you're going to fix this. You're going to yarn over and you're going to work the two stitches, so the two stitches right next to each other, you're going to work those as front post double crochets. So you're just going to insert your hook behind both stitches and then close the double crochet. So you're essentially creating a decrease. And that way you're ready to begin the first round, or the next round, I guess, with a back post double crochet. And then you can just work your stitches like you would any other round. And you don't have to worry about not having enough stitches or you missed one or anything. You can just easily continue to crochet the brim. So once you have finished the brim, go through, weave in all of your ends. They'll link a video up here if you don't know how to weave in ends. But get the brim finished, weave in ends, and I'll see you here so that we can talk about cinching. So you've gotten to this point, you've completed your brim, you've woven all of your ends in, you're ready to begin the cinching. So grab some yarn, and you're going to need a tapestry, yarn needle, anything that your yarn fits through. Grab a piece of yarn, and you're going to pull this through your needle, and then make a knot on the other end of your yarn. So at the very end of the thread, just a quick little knot. And this part is really, really easy. You're just going to pick any stitch. Oh, here's a little piece of yarn. Pick any stitch you want, doesn't matter where, and just insert your needle. Go all the way through to the front. And we're going to work in this space right here. So in the little spaces between your double crochets. So the first one, we're going to insert our needle from the back towards the front, and the next one, you go front to back, and then the next one, back to front, and then front to back. So it's really that easy. That's all you're going to be doing all the way around the top of the hat. What this is going to do is it's going to help us close the top. So let me do a few stitches and I'll show you how you're going to do this. And this part doesn't have to be perfect, so you don't need to be a seamstress to be able to do this. This is really easy. Once you get a few stitches in, you can pull on your yarn and see it closes up the top of your hat. So this is called cinching. We're going to do this all the way around the hat. Once you get to the end, you've gone all the way around, just pull on your yarn as tight as you can. And then we still have to close up the top just to make sure that it's not going to pop open. So just grab the top of your hat as tightly as you can. And then you're going to sew from one side to the other. So you can start from the bottom to the top, top to bottom. It doesn't really matter, especially if you're using the same color yarn as your hat. You can just sew this part however you want. Normally, I like to go in a bit of a circle pattern around the top part. So I'll just work my way around clockwise. But really, it doesn't really matter. This is just to give it a couple of extra stitches so that your hat doesn't pop open. Once you've gone around a few times, you can just kind of start working with the stitches that you have. So you'll get a bit of a star shape here at the top of your hat after you've gone through a few times. But just sew around until you feel comfortable that your hat is totally closed. And then you're going to make a knot here at the top and weave in the ends of your yarn. So go through, weave that in, and then optional is a pom-pom. So most of my hats, I like to put a little pom-pom or a little poof here on top. So you can just sew one here on top if you want to, and I'll link the tutorial for those on the video as well. But that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I post videos every week. If you want to see more of my work, follow me on Instagram. I post tons of pictures on there of all the work we've been doing so far and everything we're going to work on in the future. So check out the pattern. It's on the blog. You can see the link is going to be down in the description box below. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next week.